First at 4, breaking news. Sky 4 captured the end of this police chase in Highland Park. What we've learned so far. Governor Whitmer wins another court battle. What that means for her COVID orders and where the fight could be headed next. Breaking news. Actress Loughlin faces a judge to be sentenced in that college admissions scandal. How much time will she spend behind bars? Hey there, Andrew. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Karen. Good to see everybody. We're looking at temperatures well into the 80s, feeling like summer. How much hotter this weekend? Your full weekend forecast, first at 4.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Drew. Breaking news from Highland Park, where a police chase has ended in a crash. Sky 4 over the scene this afternoon as that chase ended at Hamilton Avenue and Buena Vista. We're told the suspects crashed into a fence near a home and then took off. 2 suspects are under arrest. Police are still looking for one more. Detroit police were involved in the chase, and we're told it is not connected to a homicide at a Coney Island. Very busy news day, as you can see. We'll bring you new information as we get it with an update coming our way tonight at 5. The head of the U.S. Postal Service says the post office will prioritize mail-in ballots ahead of the November election. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy made that promise as he faced some tough questions before a Senate committee. Jason Colthorpe in the newsroom with the very latest. And Jason, much of the hearing focused on concerns about the election.
Yeah, Karen, today was the first time lawmakers could grill DeJoy about changes that raised questions about whether the post office was up to the task of processing mail-in ballots. Democrats worried DeJoy, an ally of President Trump, was trying to undermine the election. He insisted that's not the case.
As we head into the election season, I want to assure this committee and the American public that the Postal Service is fully capable and committed to delivering the nation's election mail securely and on time. This sacred duty is my #1 priority between now and Election Day.
Today, DeJoy defended changes he made since taking over in June. Workers reported mail sorting machines were being removed, overtime hours were being cut, and there was talk of limited post office hours. DeJoy says it's all part of a long-term plan to make the troubled agency run more efficiently. This week, DeJoy said he was putting those changes on hold, though, until after the election. Today, he committed to delivering ballots within 1 to 3 days. Michigan Senator Gary Peters asked if the changes could be reversed. He also asked about his connection to the president.
Bringing back any mail sorting machines that have been removed since you've become Postmaster General, will any of those come back?
There's no intention to do that. They're not needed, sir.
So you will not bring back any processors?
They're not needed, sir.
Okay. I've got questions about independence and transparency. Prior to implementing the changes that you put forth in the postal system, did you discuss those changes, or are there a potential impact on the November election with the president or anyone at the White House? And remind you, you're under oath.
I have never spoken to the president about the Postal Service other than to congratulate me when I accepted the position.
DeJoy also said some of the changes went into effect before he took over, but believes many are still necessary. Today, the post office launched a new election mail website to answer your questions about mail-in voting. We'll have much more from DeJoy coming up at 5 o'clock. Until then, Karen, back to you.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, Jason. Governor Gretchen Whitmer scores an important victory at the Michigan Court of Appeals. The court is supporting her use of emergency authority during the COVID-19 pandemic. Republican legislators brought the legal challenge after she extended that authority without their approval. Whitmer's office released a statement today saying, quote, "This decision recognizes that the governor's actions to save lives are lawful and her orders remain in place." The case could end up before Michigan's Supreme Court. More help is coming to Michigan's unemployed. Today, FEMA approved federal funding for $300 a week in extra unemployment benefits. Now, those benefits will be paid retroactive to August 1st, but it's not clear how long they will last. Governor Whitmer calls the approval good news, but says a broader COVID relief bill is still needed from Washington. Now, usually we do bring you an update on the new cases in Michigan, but today's report has been delayed, so we should have those numbers about 6, and we'll update you then. If you perhaps were hoping to see the Detroit Lions home opener in person, forget about it. But all hope is not lost. Today, the Lions ruled out fans in the stands for the first 2 home games. They play the Chicago Bears on September 13th and the New Orleans Saints on October 4th. The third home game is not until November 1st, and the team says the situation will continue to be evaluated. Now remember, even the parking lots are closed for those first games, so no tailgating if you're tempted. We'll let you know if things change. 15-year-old boy is in critical condition this hour after being shot while inside his home. This happened just before midnight on 3 Mile Drive near Mack and Outer Drive. That's on the city's east side. Police say the teen was in a back bedroom when someone walked up and then opened fire. The teen walked out of the room and told his grandfather that he had been shot. Investigators are trying to determine if the shooting was targeted or maybe random. So far, no word on a possible suspect. We've got breaking news from Boston this afternoon, and that is where Full House actress Loughlin has been sentenced to 2 months in prison. Her husband, Massimo Gianni, will serve 5 months. The couple paid $500,000 in bribes to get their 2 daughters into the University of Southern California. Now, in the first sign of public remorse, her husband told the judge he deeply regrets the harm his actions caused. The sentence was part of a plea deal. It's been so comfortable outside, but we are heating up as we head into the weekend. Ben Bailey's off, Andrew's in. So, Andrew, what's in store tonight?
More summer-like weather, it looks like, Karen, and lovely conditions as we've been experiencing all afternoon. Absolutely spectacular now with temperatures in the middle, even upper 80s. 87 degrees from Lapeer to Pontiac, Ann Arbor, and right here in Detroit over at Metro Airport. 81, one of the lower temperatures, but still warm on Grosse Ile. Here's a live look outside. Picture perfect. This is what August is all about, everybody, with temperatures well into the 80s and mostly sunny skies. You can see that we have winds out of the west-southwest at around 10 miles per hour, dew points comfortably in the 50s, so we have tolerable, if not comfortable or seasonable humidity that's out there. And temperatures continue to be in the 80s this evening. We'll talk more about tonight, how much cooler it gets, but also possibly getting hotter on Saturday and Sunday in just minutes.
All right, we're ready for it. Thanks, Andrew. Get ready for the 2020 presidential race to heat up in the coming weeks. Former Vice President Joe Biden has accepted the Democratic nomination, and he's issued a stark challenge to President Trump.
Our current president has failed in his most basic duty to the nation. He's failed to protect us. He's failed to protect America. And my fellow Americans, that is unforgivable. As president, I'll make you a promise. I'll protect America. I will defend us from every attack, seen and unseen, always, without exception, every time.
The first virtual convention wrapped up with fireworks. President Trump barely waited for that display to fizzle before he went on the attack against Biden and the Democrats.
They want to punish America and its citizens instead of holding them high. Where Joe Biden sees American darkness, I see American greatness.
The president made that comment at the 2020 Council for National Policy meeting in Arlington, Virginia. The Republican National Convention starts Monday. In the spring, parents and students were just thrown into remote learning and had to do the best they could to adjust quickly. As many families prepare to keep working in their at-home classrooms, we found some parents trying to reorganize for the long haul. Sandra Ali shows you a cool makeover that might give your family some ideas.
School is getting ready to start back up again, and that means lots of families are scrambling to create those new at-home classrooms. Back to school looks very different this year.
Back in March, when schools closed, things got chaotic at home for the Bell family, like it did for most parents of young children.
Both of our kids had desks in their rooms, and then we also used the kitchen table for their Zoom meetings, and all of their supplies were in a different area of the house. So the whole entire time I was running room from room, helping them do school pages, helping them do, setting up Zoom class meets.
Tired and unorganized, Jenna knew she needed to make some changes.
We had gotten the news that this fall the kids would be starting virtually. I knew that I needed to bring everything together to one room. I needed both of their desks together. I needed a nice quiet space for them. At the kitchen table, there were so many different distractions that they weren't getting their work done.
With more time to prep and plan this time around, Jenna, Maya, and Lucas cleaned out their old playroom full of toys they had outgrown. They turned it into a schoolroom with a lounge area.
The kids really wanted a hangout room, and so this was kind of our combination where we came together and came up with ideas of like stuff they wanted and stuff I knew we needed. Kids love this room. It's kind of like their hangout spot / classroom. I think it's going to be very beneficial for them. They'll have a quiet place to learn and a little spot of their own.
Harry the dirty dog.
Now Maya and Lucas are looking forward to working in their new room.
The kitchen table's not that exciting because it's where you eat, and it's like when my mom cooks dinner and we go all the way to dinner time, we have to move all of our stuff out of the way.
Looking back now, Jenna, Lucas, and Maya admit they had fun designing the room together as a family. The first lesson they learned, how to make the best of a tough situation.
I really miss my friends, but I'm going to see them at some point. This will do for now.
The Bells sold all of their old toys and train tables and all of those toys that they outgrew, and they actually ended up using that money to give their new room a makeover. Back to you.
What a great idea. Thanks, Sandra, and thanks to the Bell family, too. Don't forget, we have a Return to School page online tracking the latest information from local districts as we get it. It's all at clickondetroit.com. Still ahead here, first at 4, we have a consumer alert about a popular summer toy. There are concerns about lead levels, what your family needs to know. Also, new international help for a critic of Vladimir Putin. What's happening next? And what Russian doctors are saying about the fears he was poisoned. And later, millions of people talking about this video. BTS is doing something it's never done before that could make them even more popular in America. We'll explain when we come back.